Big Little Lies was the first of its kind, but far from the last. In fact, it created a whole new subset of programming most easily referred to as one of those Big Little Lies type shows. A mystery about a sensational crime within a wealthy community, with a child involved in one way or another, sums up many a series. Almost invariably based on novels, these shows share not only a general premise but rampant plot twists and a crisp, polished visual feel. Big Little Lies accomplished something of great quality and emotional significance, even in its seemingly ill-advised second season. It remains to be seen what the upcoming Big Little Lies Season 3 will be like. The shows that followed in its footsteps reached for the same, with varying degrees of success. The Undoing 2020. The Undoing shares Big Little Lies star Nicole Kidman and creator David E. Kelly, but that's not enough to save this flat limited series. This niche genre aims to recreate in its audience the same hushed, sensationalized conversation that this event would elicit in real life. To maintain intrigue, characters are often left ambiguous, their motives and honesty always in question. To pull off this sacrifice of rich, clear character development, the story needs to deliver genuinely surprising twists that turn the story on its head and reveal a new level of character depth. From the get-go, The Undoing is, in many ways, exactly what it seems. The few red herrings along the way are weak, more often a result of the show withholding information from the audience rather than the story actually developing in a well-paced and twisty way. 9 Perfect Strangers 2021-2025. Another Nicole Kidman-David E. Kelly partnership proving that lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. 9 Perfect Strangers is even an adaptation of a perfectly good novel by Big Little Lies author Liane Moriarty. Yet the first season is merely passable with no playbook from Moriarty, and 9 Perfect Strangers Season 2 stoops even lower. In the novel, the participants of Moshe's twisted retreat felt tragically raw, especially quasi-lead Francis, who fell victim to a romance scam. The character is portrayed in the series by Melissa McCarthy, who seems like she can't tell if the role is supposed to be funny or not. The show seems equally undecided on whether it wants to develop the rest of its characters as well, or merely use them to drive the plot. Season 2, depicting a new retreat under Moshe's guidance, is actually better in this regard. The participants are compelling, and the bonds they form with one another have heart. Unfortunately, the show largely keeps us from them in favor of unspooling Moshe's convoluted backstory, much of which had been implied from the context clues we'd already been given. Defending Jacob 2020. Defending Jacob succeeds in keeping viewers on their toes until the very end, supported by a great performance from Jaden Martell. It's like Adolescence meets We Need to Talk About Kevin, and the suspense and fear are palpable. However, its similarity to Adolescence shows another tone the show could have taken, arguably with more success. In maintaining its mystery through to the very end, Defending Jacob remains a psychological thriller, neglecting its opportunity for a powerful character study. By withholding the answer to the question of, did he do it, the show doesn't allow itself to probe the deeper question of, what are these people going through, really? There are hints of it, to be sure, but Defending Jacob is much more of a shiny mystery that makes you want to know what happens next. Especially when compared to Adolescence, it's not the complex, memorable characters that keep you watching so much as the need to have your questions answered. The ideal Big Little Lies type show does both. Under the Bridge 2024. Under the Bridge is based on a book written about a true story, and it has a pervasive air of sadness that creates a morbid need to keep watching. The show paints a complete picture of Sanic, British Columbia, with its story stretching into the town's every corner. Gang life, Indian-Canadian immigrant culture, youth group homes, and the police force are all explored in satisfying detail. The personal story of Rebecca Godfrey, real-life author of the book on which the show was based, is less thorough. Her and her parents' traumatic backstory is teased throughout the show, but never reaches a cathartic climax or shocking reveal. She has a clear disconnect with her parents that warrants confronting, but she mostly just avoids them, causing the show to avoid the issue as well. Nonetheless, the other players are strong, and Under the Bridge powerfully tells the story of a real tragedy. All Her Fault 2025. Sarah Snook's new limited series is twisty to the max, dropping bombshell after bombshell in a way that makes it impossible not to immediately start the next episode. Many of the All Her Fault characters, from the in-laws of Snook's Marissa to Marissa's business partner, Colin, at first seem like caricatures, all of them boasting one flashy flaw that makes them untrustworthy. But the story develops in a way that proves the red herrings weren't quite red herrings, but relevant to the truth. That truth ultimately reveals all the characters' true colors, giving them a rewarding depth that wasn't immediately available. The twists don't come from the show choosing to share information that's always been available, but from the story naturally developing in real time. Thematically, All Her Fault can be heavy-handed in its depiction of the burden of working mothers compared to fathers, particularly with fellow mom Jenny Kaminsky and her husband. Ultimately, though, Snooks Marissa is satisfyingly investigative, neither frustratingly ignorant nor implausibly perceptive. She carries the show to its emotional and shocking conclusion. Bad Sisters 2022, present. In many ways, Bad Sisters is the exception that proves the rule. It's the only show on this list not based on a novel or produced by an American production company. This gives it a distinct feel compared to these other series, but the show ultimately improved in quality the more it grew to resemble the Big Little Lies genre. Season 1 had a much more comedic, almost slapstick feel. It also felt like a complete story, but, like Big Little Lies, Bad Sisters returned for a very successful second season aimed at exploring the emotional fallout of the first. Season 1 created distinct and entertaining characters, Season 2 took advantage of them, pursuing their depth. Bad Sisters Season 2 offered another mystery, this one ripe with suspense, emotion, plot twists, and untrustworthy characters in place of farcical set pieces. Season 2's emphasis on the now wayward teenage Blanade cements the show's place within the Big Little Lies genre. Sharp Objects 2018. Sharp Objects is one show that may rival Big Little Lies itself. It has an overall melancholy constantly seeping out of it, while its characters and plot support this tone, making it all feel worthwhile. Camille Priaker is a very novelistic protagonist, what with her deep psychological trouble that's primarily characterized by her thoughts, but Amy Adams brings her to tragic life. The mystery plot is perfectly tied in with Camille's personal life, continuously driving both the emotion and suspense up in unison. Every twist has both plot and character implications, sending Camille reeling and the story into a new direction. Sharp Objects delivers a twist in its final moments, but it doesn't withhold character development to do it.